lights down. Hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of MGR Unplugged. David, how are you?
Great.
All right. Well, this is a topic that you like, actually, and you are more of an expert than I am.
That I like. Wow.
You told me you liked it. Don't lie now.
It's a necessary part of crypto.
Yes. Well, you just gave it away. But we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk a little more. Actually, what happened is that we had.
You know that there's YouTube titles, right? So most of the time, by the time someone clicks on this, they already know what we're going to talk about.
No,
so
this is live.
I'm not giving anything away.
This is live on tape. Yeah.
That's actually, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
When I go to a YouTube video and it's like they already have the title of I know what it is.
Yeah.
And they spend 2 minutes in the beginning, like telling me what the video is going to be about. It's like, I fucking know what the video is about. I clicked on it. Okay, I saw the title.
So
just get into the damn content.
See that they missed this intro that you just did. So you're telling me to just skip the intro? What about people?
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm fine if with a 10-second like, hey guys, this is what we're doing today. But when people are like, and I'm sure people are relating right now, like, hey guys, get into the time.
I know.
Now we're guilty of it.
Now I have to. Now first to have a nice topic and a nice title because we're like 2 minutes into a podcast and we haven't even discussed the topic.
I'm sure people can relate when people are like explaining for 2 minutes what the topic is.
Well, the title is the headline. We're giving a little more of the subtitle.
Okay. Crypto security.
Crypto security
is the
and
main
diversification.
topic.
But before that, I just realized, we went outside before and we have a beautiful day in Phoenix and, I don't even know what the rest of the country looks like. But out of curiosity, I Googled how many days it rained in Phoenix in 2020, last year. Mm-hmm. You want to take a guess?
35.
Not even close.
How many?
15.
No.
15 days. 15
okay,
days.
maybe.
Oh, last year was a little dry for our standards, which is pretty dry to begin with. But seriously, in 2020, Phoenix, okay, I'm not saying Arizona or anything, Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, which is where you measure the precipitation stuff. There were 15 days of measurable rain in 2020, okay? The average for Phoenix is more like close to 30, like 28,
Okay.
30. That's the average.
I was more
Last year
correct.
was very dry. And the average for the country, for the U.S., is about 115. Basically, 1 every 3 days in the country is raining. Of course, you go to Seattle and it's like raining every day.
Stupid.
Yeah, I know.
That's a stupid calculation.
Well, I know. It's just
The average for the country.
Well, I know it's different. But my point is that we only have 15 days of rain in Phoenix. No wonder when it rains here, it's like a big event. Like it's in the news everywhere, like it's snow or some kind of
So if you like the sun, you should come here.
Yeah. The suns or the sun?
Both.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, now we get to the topic for real. So you can fast forward. You fast forward in about 5 minutes.
They
You
already
would just
stopped watching
I
the
know.
video. They said, were you talking about rain?
Right. Anyways, yeah. No, so the topic is crypto security and diversification based on security as well. So this is because we were talking about crypto and different allocation of assets and everything. Back in the days, a few weeks ago, we had a few podcasts specifically for crypto and NFTs and so forth. And now I actually have gotten a few questions from listeners and friends. This podcast is broadcast to entire world, so we have listeners from all over the place. I actually see people in Thailand listening to us. Anyway, so I got questions about, okay, how do I diversify? First of all, is the topic of security, because obviously all this is crypto online and everything else. And then how do I diversify my assets or my crypto so that is not so much on the diversification of assets like you do with the stock market or stock holdings, but also diversification based on security to make sure that, something happens, you're protected. So that's the main topic. So I wanted to start with the basics. From the moment a person buys or decides to buy some crypto, some token, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, or stable coins or whatever, they go to an exchange, which is the way you do it, as we explained before. So you have your bank account, normal bank account, and then you connect it to a crypto exchange, whether it's Coinbase, Binance, or any of the multiple ones, Gemini, whatever. And then you transfer funds just like you would do with your brokerage account or whatever stock holding account or shares or anything. And then you decide to buy. So after that, your money, your crypto is, well, both the money, the fiat currency, and your crypto, whatever you buy, is with the exchange. So what happens after that, and what is basically the better option as far as what you do? Question number one is, okay, so now I converted, let's say, $5,000 or whatever in savings into, I bought Ethereum or a fraction of Bitcoin or something, a tenth of a Bitcoin based on today's prices. So what do I do with that? Do I leave it with the exchange? Do I move it to a wallet? What kinds of wallets? And so we're gonna evolve or what to do with that. So let's start with the money when you have it with the current exchange. So what is your recommendation as far as what to do when the money is there?
Move it.
Move it. Okay, no, that's the question. I mean, because the exchanges obviously are public exchanges and they're subject to possible hacks, as is happened in the past. So I think now there are less risks involved than when they started many years ago. Many years, I mean, like, I'm talking like 5, 6, 7 years ago, you start seeing that they were easier to hack. Now the exchanges obviously are taking more precautionary measures to make sure that they don't get hacked. But still, there's a risk. Every time you have, JPM and Bank of America, whatever, have different kind of hacks, different levels where they don't steal money, but they steal databases and things like that, as we've seen. So it's not far-fetched to think that these exchanges can also be hacked and then either grab the keys or whatever, they can basically move the funds. So the first thing is to move.
Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. So if you keep your money on an exchange, it's basically like you don't own the Bitcoin,
Right. You basically are giving it, the exchange doesn't, yeah, exactly. You don't have the keys, which is the key, really. It's like the key to your house. If you don't have the keys to your house, you don't own your house, you don't have your house.
Right.
So with the crypto, is the same thing. You have this encryption key or the key to your coins, which basically you're handing off to the exchange and giving them, trusting them. They become your trustee to say, okay, you're going to hold my crypto there. So number one recommendation is move it out of the exchange as soon as you can, or as soon as it's available, to a wallet, right?
Yeah, there's basically like different levels of the best to the worst. Mm-hmm. The worst is basically keeping it on an exchange. The only reason to keep your money on an exchange, your cryptocurrency, is if you're trading or doing things like that, right? If you're trading actively, then you need to keep money there. But if you're just basically buying for investment to hold, I would not keep it on an exchange. I would keep it in the best option is what we call cold storage, which is a hardware wallet that's a physical thing that you own, and that's the most secure version. And that is what basically pretty much everybody who is serious does. Everybody who's serious and owns a decent amount of cryptocurrency uses a hardware wallet or multiple, depending on how much money they have.
Before we jump into that, let me jump in for a second, because you just mentioned cold
storage means that it's kind of like the metaphor that basically there's different types of wallets, right? So there's
the hot ones and the cold ones.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of have that fork in the road to explain. Okay, you have the exchange here, which is how you basically exchange and trade. If you're a trader, you want to have your currency there, so you can say, okay, I'm going to trade Bitcoin for stablecoin or Ethereum or back to dollars, whatever you want. You're trading, so you need to have the money at the exchange, and that's fine. But if you are basically, like you said, a saver, investor, whatever, you want to hold it, then you want to move it out of exchange and own your own keys and transfer it to a wallet, which could be cold or hot. And that's basically what I wanted to separate. We're going to discuss both the hot wallet and the cold wallet, and what are the pros and cons of each of those, and why sometimes it's better to combine them to have both.
Yeah. You need both because the hot wallet, so to speak, which is like a wallet app, just lets you do a lot of things that you can't do with a cold storage wallet, and it's just for convenience. But the negative side is that, and it's not so much the app's fault most of the time, it's actually like the phone carrier company's fault. So basically, most of these apps, right? You can go on the App Store, you can find like depending on what you want, right? Like there's MetaMask is a big one for Ethereum. There's a new one called Rainbow. That's great, and I use it for everything Ethereum.
Exodus, Jax, a lot of them. I mean, there's tons of different wallets.
But my favorite these days, MetaMask I use, and then also I don't store anything in MetaMask, but I use it for some things as like a through point.
Right.
And then Rainbow is good because they have a good. I love their UI for collectibles and NFTs, and they make it very easy to swap, use Uniswap and all
Right.
that.
But
anyways,
another thing is that not all the wallets manage all the currencies, all the tokens.
right, Rainbow's an Ethereum wallet.
Right.
So everything I do with Ethereum, I use mostly Rainbow. But anyways, you use these different wallets for utility, right? So like if you're trying to get into NFTs, which is hot these days, a hot wallet is basically a necessary to basically transact with all these things. But as far as like cold storage and long-term storage, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to touch this. I'm just basically, it's like a savings account. The cold storage is the best option. But yeah, you need both just because it's like the bank vault is your cold storage, right? It's like the thing that's locked away behind 10 different security measures and is not easy to get access to. And then the hot wallet is like your safety deposit box type of thing.
Yes,
that would be the best
the
way
hot
to
wallet, the
describe
main
it.
thing.
And the main reason the hot wallets are vulnerable is because they're on an app, right? And so most of them will let you use like two-factor authentication, things like that. But the problem is that like Verizon or AT&T or these carriers, they don't have great security. So someone can hack your phone number and get access, and that's the way a lot of people get hacked.
Not just that. I mean, some of them are obviously phone-based apps. Some others are desktop, web-based apps, and basically they are online.
The way a lot of
they are
people get
online
hacked.
wallets, which are basically like anything else online. They're subject to be hacked.
Yeah, the way a lot of people get hacked is through basically the phone number getting hacked or some other way, and then someone gets access to your phone, and then through that they can get into your wallets on your phone. So that's why I wouldn't keep anything. Basically, it's like use what you need on the hot wallets. Like if you're like, oh, I want to buy, like example, like again with like Ethereum. Like if you're like, oh, I want to buy this NFT. Okay, then move some Ethereum to your hot wallet, and then basically get your NFT or do whatever you want. And then that's it. And then but keep the majority of your money over here. It's like a checking and a savings back in the day. It's like keep the majority of your money in your savings. If you need to access your savings, you can.
You transfer it to your daily checking account. Yeah,
but for the most part, you keep it in the checking.
And really, to give a better analogy, is the same thing. I mean, we're talking wallets. Obviously, these are all crypto wallets or online wallets or whatever.
And let me preface: it depends how much money you have too.
Right.
Obviously, right. Like I'm not a crypto whale, so I don't have fucking hundreds of millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. So these people have different levels of security, different level. Like
but
the big whales will have like a bunch of wallets and a bunch of diversified security.
Right, and that's another topic. But I mean, to me, when it comes to security, I mean, for a wealthy person, maybe being hacked of $100,000 is bad, you know. But for a person that is saving and decides, you know what, instead of putting my money into a savings account that these days is giving me zero interest, I'm gonna put some money into crypto that apparently is growing better and is riskier, whatever, you know. But you make that decision. But even if you get hacked of $1,000 worth of crypto, it's a lot of money for that particular person. So on the security side, I think it's good to look at this regardless of how much money you have. Obviously, diversification and security is always a factor. So, but I understand what you're saying, that, you know, a wallet is a wallet. It's no different than a physical wallet that you have in your pocket. You don't have all your money in your wallet. You basically have money in the bank, in savings, in checking, whatever, and then you have some cash in your wallet that you use for whatever you use daily, but you don't put all your money in your wallet. So this wallet now happens to be not physical, but is on the internet or an app or something that is not tangible that you can touch. So the hot wallet, the advantage is that they are free. All of them are free, and basically you can just basically use them anytime, and you download the app, and they're free, and they have different fees for usage and things like that. But for the most part, you don't pay money for them. But the handicap is that for the mere fact that they are connected to the internet, they're more, or phones and everything that you explained, they're more subject to possible hacks or being, stolen or something. The cold wallet is the hardware one, which basically we're gonna get into those, but those basically is like a little USB type drive, and there's companies like Ledger or Trezor or some others that create these that are very secure, and then you move your money to a physical wallet, which in this case is like a drive itself. And
The most advanced thing you can do is get a node, but that's way too complicated for the average person, and it can be expensive. But yeah, the hardware wallet is
exactly.
the
You just
best.
touched on one of the points, because one of the disadvantages of the hardware wallet is that obviously they cost money, and they can cost anywhere between $60, $80 to $200 or something, and that's for each of them. So you would diversify and put the money into different hardware wallets, so that you have, like a physical wallet. You say, okay, I'm gonna have this wallet with
I
this
would
money.
think about it as insurance.
Insurance,
like,
right?
Basically,
exactly.
Okay, if you have a Bitcoin, which is at this point worth 60 grand, it's worth to buy the $100 wallet.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
whatever, Now, yeah, if you have $500 of Bitcoin,
Yeah.
would I buy a $100
No, not at
wallet?
that level.
No, probably not.
Not at that
honestly.
level, but exactly, that's a good way to think about it. It's like insurance, saying, do I pay $100 to buy a physical device that is going to protect my $60,000 investment? More likely, it's a one-time expense. It's not like you pay. It's not a monthly fee or anything. It's just buying the hardware. So yeah. Now, the other factor, and this is something that I also, when I talk to some of our friends and colleagues, they say, well, I lose everything. I lose USB drives. I lose stuff all the time. So I'm afraid that now I'm going to put my money into this wallet, into this
Well,
thing.
you lose things. Like, I think that's kind of a stupid argument because
For some people, it's kind of critical. I mean, they're afraid they're going to misplace it or
you
something.
lose things that are. Listen, I don't know. If you have $100,000 on a fucking drive and you lose it, you deserve to lose it, okay? Because I don't know how you lose that thing, okay? I don't know how you don't basically put a tremendous amount of thought into what
and then also
like,
there's-
yeah, I lose things too, okay? I'll misplace a pair of keys or something.
Well, that's the thing. Okay.
But I mean, not that often, but like, I'll misplace my wallet, okay, because I have $20 in cash in it. But trust me, if I had $100,000 in my wallet, I ain't losing it, okay? I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I don't know how people lose these things.
Well, I mean, you may misplace them, and then
Now, you could the big argument is like it's a physical thing. So like if your fucking house burns down and it's in your house
right,
somewhere,
or you
whatever,
jump in the pool and you had it in your pocket, whatever, things like that. I mean,
why would you have your wallet in your pocket? It's not a phone. You don't need to carry it around with you.
Okay.
It's like owning like a
okay, well, some
gold-
people actually have it in their keychain.
No, I don't know who does that.
Well, it's like a
Fucking
USB drive.
Idiots would do that.
Well,
that's like walking around. Who would do that?
Well, you are on the go, and you are constantly trading with crypto and buying things and all that stuff, and you are traveling somewhere. Okay, let's say that you travel. I mean, seriously, this is the conversation. You have money in your hardware wallet, okay, instead of on the actual online or hot wallet, and then you're traveling or something, and you expect to be traveling and making some transactions on crypto, and then you travel with your laptop and everything, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna take my wallet with me, my hardware, like my cold wallet, and then you travel and you say, okay, now I'm gonna connect it, I'm gonna transfer some money, I'm
would
gonna buy
not do
this and
that. Whatever money you need, put it onto a hot wallet, and then use that. Do not move.
But you don't know how much money you're gonna need depending on what you're gonna buy.
You have an idea, okay? I mean,
So you put in a hardware wallet and then you put in a vault or a safe
pretty
deposit box or
much.
something.
Or hide it somewhere or whatever.
But
yeah.
you only touch it to move funds from your exchange or whatever to there.
That's like saying like, oh yeah, everywhere I go, I need to bring $1 million briefcase with me. Like, why? Why would you need to do that?
I'm not saying $1 million briefcase, but if I'm talking about people are saving like 10,000, 20,000, whatever.
Yeah, what do you need 20 grand for when you're traveling? I mean,
If you find an opportunity to buy something and you're gonna move it, so you wouldn't take it with you everywhere. You
that's
think it's
fucking
safer
stupid.
leaving it behind you?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fucking stupid. That's like saying everywhere I go, I gotta bring my gold bar with me. What the fuck would you need that for?
Some people travel with a lot of money, dude.
No. First of all, you can't even travel with that much money. Like if you do cash, you can only bring 10
Well, that's a
grand
good
with
point
you.
because you can only come to when you go through customs, they tell you, do you have any more than $10,000 cash? And that's the customs form. So now you have your wallet. In theory, you have that kind of money in your wallet. And they say, yeah, but I had it before I left and now I'm coming back with it. So they're going to start checking for wallets or something. Anyways, okay, so you don't move your wallet. You store your wallet, okay? And you don't lose it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, so let me back up a little bit because we kind of deviated into this wallet
Yeah,
conversation.
you're like giving me these fucking stupid hypotheticals of like, what if I need to go somewhere with 100 grand on me? Like, why do you need to go somewhere with 100 grand on
Well,
you?
I wouldn't be the first one that you can find on the, like you can look for cases where people lost their keys for their Bitcoin
Yeah,
and all
okay,
that
you
stuff.
can always find morons, okay? I can find people who do a lot of stupid things on the internet, okay? That doesn't mean it's normal.
All right. So, okay. So let me back up a little bit again. So we, back to the wallet situation. So we have the wallets, which is where you put your money. In this case, is crypto, and then you go with exchange. You move it to your wallet, and then
Think of your hardware wallet as like a gold bar, okay? Imagine you have a gold bar, all right? Store it like it's a fucking
I
gold
travel
bar.
with gold bars hanging from my neck all
Okay.
day.
Yeah. And if you need money, then you can take what you need. That's like saying like imagine you have a savings account and every time it's hard to make this good analogy, but it's like every time you need money, you're like, well, I'm just gonna move all the money from my savings account to my checking. It's like, why? Just take what you need. Why do you need all your savings? You're like, I'm gonna travel, so I'm just gonna cash out my whole 401k, and it's like, why would you do
No,
that?
but-
Who does that?
No, but if all my money is there, and if I'm traveling to a country and I know I'm gonna
Why are
buy
you bringing all your
a
money
piece of
with you?
art, a famous NFT, but I don't know exactly how much it costs.
First of all, you don't need to. This is the digital world, my friend. You don't need to cross borders with your hardware wallet. Like, you don't need to do these things.
That is a point. I don't need to travel to buy the NFT.
No, you don't need to travel to buy the NFT. You can just buy it online. Dude.
Okay, all right. So let me back up again. Let's keep the safety in mind aside from the anecdotal, jokes and stuff. But so you have your hot wallet and you have your hardware cold wallets that are not connected. So the advantage of one is obviously the hot ones are free and there's tons of offers. Some wallets do not offer. In fact, I don't think any wallet offers all the tokens. So you have to look at what you are investing in or what you have to make sure. Most of them offer obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum. Some of them are Ethereum only because of the protocol. So you have wallets for certain types of tokens on like I said, Ethereum, Bitcoin, DAI, whatever you want to buy. And then my second question is, let's say that you are a what is it, this expression, the maximalist, or like is the person that swears and lives by Bitcoin as being the only true cryptocurrency, basically. And you start adding funding or adding money or investing in Bitcoin, and before you know it, you have a size, a good amount of Bitcoin for your standards as far as your savings, and you say, okay, so I have all this money and it's all Bitcoin, and I have it on this, a little bit on this hot wallet for my daily whatever transactions, and then I have mostly the hardware wallet. At what point do you diversify between wallets? Like saying, okay, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket or my money in one wallet. This kind of reminds me of like the banks. The banks have a limited FDIC insurance.
it's like everything. I mean, that's kind of up to you to decide. I mean, if you're like, hey, I don't want to have. I mean, if you're like, oh, I have 50 Bitcoin. I don't know, maybe get 10 wallets and put 5 on each or something. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of up to you to decide.
But is that something
Obviously,
that is,
you only have. I mean, first of all, the thing is, if you're gonna get multiple wallets, then you need multiple places to put those wallets. So it gets to a point where, now a lot of, It depends. How much money are we talking?
Well, whatever is a good amount for the person in question. I mean, it always. I mean, if you have 10%,
some really
10% of your net worth, whatever the net worth is, or 20% of your net worth.
Yeah, but that's a big difference. I mean,
Right. Okay. Let's say that you
$100 million or
let's
million,
not net worth, but savings. Let's say that a person. I mean, everybody says, okay, you need $1 million to retire or something safely, or whatever amount is, percentage of your income, salary, whatever. But let's say that your money, your goal for retirement, whatever that goal is, and you diversify your retirement funding, and you have stocks and shares and 401ks and all that stuff, and savings and cash, and then you have some crypto, and then that crypto, adds up to whatever 20% of your retirement savings. Let's say that is $200,000, okay, or
So like
or a $250,000 or something. So forget the number of Bitcoin, because I mean Bitcoin could be 60,000 today, it could be 70,000 tomorrow, it could be 40,000 the day after. But
it's whatever you're comfortable with.
right. So, but at what point you feel like if you put money in a bank, the bank is telling you up front, hey, we're only insuring $250,000 of your account. So you put $1 million, we love you, welcome, we take your money, we're gonna make money on your money, but if something goes bad and we basically fall tomorrow, there's a recession, whatever happens to the bank, the FDIC insurance will only pay you back $250. Right. So then people that are wealthy say, okay, well, I'm going to diversify. I'm going to put 250 in this bank, 250 in this other bank, all that stuff.
And that works.
Right.
Up until, I mean, depends how rich you are. If you have $100 million, you just got to take the risk. You're not going to have fucking.
But I'm talking about
accounts.
the average person. So if you're working in your retirement and you get into your 5-10 years from retirement, and you start saying, okay, now I need to be a little more conservative. I'm going to have more cash, less stocks, more bonds, whatever, and then you say, now my crypto, do I want to diversify? Is it better? Is it a good strategy to say, okay, I'm going to put maybe get 2 hardware wallets and put it in different places? Maybe even one is in a safe deposit box, and say, okay.
I wouldn't put it in a safe deposit box.
Right, exactly. That's the point. That you wouldn't put it there, even though it's supposed to be called safe deposit box for a reason.
Yeah, but banks can take whatever's in there. If you put your shit in it's no different than anything else. If you put gold in a safe deposit box, they can take it.
Well, why would they take it?
There's a lot of different reasons they can take it, but it's not yours. Especially with crypto, if they were to one day do like a regulation and they say, oh, you're not allowed to own crypto, they'll go right in there and they'll take your fucking wallet.
Okay,
so I would not put it in
they
a safe
cannot break
deposit
into it
box.
because it's basically protected.
Yes, they can.
Well,
It's no different than a bank account. Like the government can come and seize all the money in your bank account tomorrow. There's nothing you can do about it.
yeah, obviously, yeah, you are. But what I'm saying is that they cannot break into the actual wallet. As far they can take the physical wallet, but they cannot get the funds because there's mostly protected.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
different. But
But anyways, that's an extreme case. Let's say that everything is legal, whatever. What do you put a safe in your house, or do you put it in your drawer, or whatever?
These are all things people have to decide with their own security.
Right, but my point is, is it advisable to diversify? I think so. I mean, I think at a certain level.
It depends. I mean, I don't know. Everybody has their own thresholds.
Right.
Maybe
To me,
you say
per
$100,000, I want to have a different wallet.
Right. To me, it's basically thinking, am I going to sleep well at night knowing that I put all this money into this little thing that, I don't know.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's like everything. It's like, listen, a lot of people keep cash in their house. Like maybe not under the mattress, that's like the cliche, but there's people who like,
well, yeah, a lot of people
literally, I mean, they have like a hidden compartment and there's $100,000 in there in cash or whatever, or gold bars, I mean, people, or a safe, or some people like safes. Some people say, well, I don't want a safe because then the robber knows where to go. These are all things people have to decide for themselves. But yeah, I mean, if you have whatever, like you said, 200,000 of Bitcoin, I mean, yeah, maybe you say I want 2 wallets, so I have 100,000 in each. So if I lose one, at least I still have the other. I don't know. That's up to you. I mean, these are things people have to decide.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Depends on your level of paranoia too. Some people keep a gun in their bedside drawer.
Well,
Some
I'm not
people
talking
don't.
about so much on people's mentality. I'm talking on the practical way. How safe are these? I mean, we know.
Depends where you live too.
No. But yeah, obviously. But I mean, hardware fails too. So sure. I mean, there's backups for the.
I mean, it's like everything. Would I put all my eggs in one basket? No.
Right.
No. I have multiple wallets. I don't keep everything in one wallet, and I don't even have that much.
Well, that's my thing. So there's different ways to keep security on the token side and security on the hardware side, on the wallet side. Which one is on the token side? If you want to diversify basically your tokens, that's fine. If you are a maximalist and you say, no, I only believe in Bitcoin, that's fine too. But so then that's the decision at the token level. And then at the wallet level, you may decide, okay, well, I'm going to stay with hot wallets because I don't want to lose a hardware or something. Okay, well, I'm going to put something in, I'm going to save it in two or three
you
wallets.
can also use a custodian if you want.
Well, that's my next point.
But the problem with that is then it's a centralized thing. It kind of negates the point of the decentralized.
Right. So let's explain. That was going to be my
aspects.
next point. At a higher level, I think a lot of very wealthy individuals prefer to use a custodian because even though it's not decentralized, it also is more like, okay, it's like giving your money to your broker, manager, or financial.
It depends. If you're super wealthy, or you're famous, to where you're like a target.
Yeah.
Custodian can make sense. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's no different than like, lots of famous people have to have security guards, and it's like, yeah, is it fun to have dudes walking around with you everywhere you go? Probably not. But, some people, if you're Kim Kardashian, it's like, well, hey, you got to do it.
Right, but I'm trying to stay away from the extreme cases of wealth or whatever. I'm just trying to stay to the average person.
The custodian is most people who use custodians is because they're either pretty wealthy or they're famous or both or whatever. I mean, that's most people who use custodians.
Okay, so that's my question. It's not the person that says...
If I was like one of these like Pomps or like famous people in Bitcoin or whatever who's always talking about Bitcoin and openly says, oh yeah, people know that I'm a multimillionaire, and then I say, oh, I have 90% of my wealth in Bitcoin. So anybody who's a thief says, okay, so that person probably has $10 million worth of Bitcoin in wallets and I can go rob him. I would probably consider using custodian because I don't want to be robbed.
Right, which basically means you're really literally handing the keys to your assets, in this case crypto, to a custodian, which is going to manage it for you, but then obviously you have nothing, which is not different than what you do with your stocks or your 401k or whatever. You have a custodian, which is your brokerage account or your company plan, whatever, managing your stocks, and then whenever you need it, but in the meantime, you don't touch it, you don't do anything, they manage everything for you.
The only other option that I don't recommend, because it's the same reason, because it's not decentralized, is the Bitcoin like ETFs, like Grayscale is the biggest one. That is purely if you are looking for exposure as an investment, but don't really care about owning Bitcoin. I think that's not smart, but it makes sense, I guess, if you're like a financial institution, things like that.
That's almost like a gold ETF. I mean, you can own the gold, or you can...
Exactly. Like, I have a gold ETF because it's not... I would rather have physical gold, but I'm not in a position where I feel comfortable at the moment owning a bunch of physical gold. So I use a gold ETF.
Right.
But I would recommend, if you can, own physical gold.
Which basically means that you're trusting that your fund actually owns the gold that you...
I literally own a gold trust.
Right.
I own a part of a gold trust.
Right.
And that's... I'm trusting that they have
You're trusting that those guys actually have the backup.
And Grayscale is transparent about the Bitcoin that they own. And the problem, too, is that a lot of times you're paying a premium with Grayscale, but that's a different story. But that's another option. You can buy into ETFs.
Okay. And then the final option, this is not about security, it's more about diversification per se, but the final option is to, like what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the DeFi savings accounts, where you decide to transfer money to decentralized finance institutions that will generate...
Well, that's not a saving, it's a lending pool.
It's a lending pool, but you can use it as you are lending, and you can be a borrower or a lender. If you are a lender, basically that means that you put your money into the pool, and then you are having an interest based on, or an interest accrued basically based on the amount that you lend on the pool, and that interest rates varies and all that stuff. But that's another way that you can say, okay, well, I'm going to put my money in another source that uses decentralized financing. It's not secure or anything, so there's risks.
There's more risks.
There's more risk.
Lending risk too.
Right. Well, I actually think the lending risk is probably less because of the collateral that they require from the borrowers.
Yeah, but there's always lending risk. If you just keep your money in cold storage, there's no lending risk. You're adding an extra layer of risk.
Right, but that's also the risk is the reward. You also gain
of course.
Anywhere, like 6, 7, 8, 9% on your money. So,
course.
and those
And then you can even do yield farms, which
Right.
is a different thing. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that gets into DeFi, which is a whole other
Right.
world. We could do a whole podcast just on DeFi. Well, we kind of did last week, but
right
or
a couple of weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so let's recap quickly. I mean, I wanted to get into the using crypto as a daily instrument for transactions, but I think we're gonna leave that for another week, for another topic, because that's a whole lengthy conversation. And this is more like there's crypto credit cards, there's crypto, a lot of things that you can do and start basically even Strike that you mentioned a long time ago to transfer money with an app, Bitcoin or
I
Ethereum.
downloaded it, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't
My
yet.
username on Strike is DGIL, DGIL. So if anybody wants to send me
Bitcoin?
free money, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Anyways, I was planning on doing that, but so we'll get to that in a different podcast because it's really lengthy. But I wanted to basically clarify the steps basically for the average person to get into the crypto. So
If you have more than $5,000, I would get a wallet, a hardware wallet. It's worth the
Right.
You can. I mean, Ledger has the Ledger Lite is like $60.
$60, the Nano,
$70 or
Ledger
whatever.
is a Nano S or something, and then they have the other one.
So if you just have like Bitcoin and you just, it's worth it. Think of it as like your insurance policy.
Right.
You know, and then listen, if anybody who owns a lot of cryptocurrency. Already kind
It's
of
more-
knows
it's more
this
about
stuff.
the-
So this is more for new people. If you never
Right. It's
bought
more like
anything.
exactly. It's for people that are just getting started with this, and they're like, when you hear crypto, blockchain, all the stuff, it's like, wow, I don't understand how that works. But really, I mean, you think in terms of what you already know, which is what your normal money, your fiat money. You say, okay, I want to have my own brokerage account or whatever, or my 401k. My 401k, your employer takes money from your paycheck every month or every couple of weeks, and then they put it into your account. Sometimes they match it, sometimes they don't, whatever. But they take money and they put it into your custodial account for 401k. So what you're doing now is managing your own money and saying, okay, I'm going to transfer money from my bank to my brokerage or my exchange, which is the Coinbase, the Binance, the Gemini, whatever. And then with that, you can convert your fiat currency into any kind of token you want, whether it's Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever you like. And then once you exchange it, then we recommend that you move it from there because it's not going to be sitting there for anything. Move it to a wallet. And then you need to decide whether you want a hot wallet, which is hosted, or you want a hardware wallet, cold wallet, which is basically you transfer it and then you move it to your physical wallet, which you save. And then that you store and everything else. So those are the basics. It's pretty basic, and the devil is always in the details, but that's basically the process. And I think diversification is always important with every investment, but in this case, we're talking security diversification. So it's like having many locks in the house and saying, okay, well, I'm going to have different options. So if I get broken into, they're not going to find everything in one shot, So that's kind of like the theme. So any parting thoughts on this, David?
No,
I think the bottom line is that you need to do what makes you sleep well at night.
Yeah, I mean,
Which
like
is-
you're asking me all these hypotheticals. And
Well,
like,
I know it's hypothetical.
it's like people do what they want to do. Like some people, like I said, keep if $100,000 in cash in the house. Other people say, no, I have all my money in a bank.
Right.
You know, some people keep gold bars in the house. Some people keep a gun at their bedside.
Yeah.
I mean, different. You do what you want to do.
Right.
You know, like
just be
I mean,
aware of the different options, and then you decide whichever works.
some
best
people
for
have
you.
an arsenal in their house. You
Yeah,
know,
I know, and I know people that have a lot of cash in
I
their
know.
wallets. I basically, with my wallet, I don't even have like $20. I always use credit cards or Apple Pay or whatever.
So-
I don't have any cash. Some people, travel with lots of cash and they pay everything like that. So, whatever makes you comfortable is what you need to do. It's like a stock investment. And the moment you start wondering and losing sleep about a particular stock, it's probably time to sell it because you already made all the money you had to make. So, all right. So we'll leave it there for now, and then we'll get into practical uses of cryptocurrency when we get to credit cards and strikes and online payments and so forth. I think it's another area that is growing pretty fast, even DeFi as well. But that's a whole different topic. So we'll discuss it maybe in a week or two. That's it for now. So we'll add all the show notes to our podcast information as always. And you have any feedback, just let us know. If not, just share it with friends or anybody that might be interested in this topic. And we'll see you next week. And have a great weekend. See you, everybody.